We had a couple of, we'd been sort of getting some interest from labels.
I mean, 92, what were you, 15, 16 when
Yeah,
you started the
15.
band?
Yeah.
Wow.
16. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wasn't until, it's funny. I remember starting the band and saying, we were all playing in my garage. We're like, we're going to be famous, And I was like, guys, you got to be realistic. This is going to take at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
And yeah, it turned out. So about 2 years after that,
not too bad.
I had a friend actually who was interning at Universal Records. And he came to me and said, like, hey man, like, I've heard your demos, like, it sounds great. I really want to impress my boss. Like, can I play your stuff?
And what kind of demos did you have at the time? Anything that's out there?
Yeah, it was if there's some demos, a song called I'm Not Dead.
I'm not sure. I know there was like a demo that I heard that had like automobile and knife. I don't know. It was a bunch of murder weapons.
Yeah, knife was on there. Yep.
Okay, so I
Knife
think
was
that was
part of
probably
that.
the one. Yeah.
And
Like 7 songs.
there was a song called Earth Rotates. It's all pre Paint by Number stuff.
Right.
Before Paint by Number. So anyway, he played this stuff for his boss, and his boss was like, whoa, like, wasn't expecting to hear something that was actually good. And one thing led to another. And before we knew it, we were heading down to New York City for a sit down with a guy named Doug Morris. And Doug at the time was the president of Universal Records. And then he would go on to be the president of a giant conglomerate of record companies that all had to be merged. But yeah, we sat down with him, and he was just like, I don't normally meet with artists until they sell me 1 million records, but he's like, I really like this stuff. And so it's like, it seemed like it was really happening. And they cut us our first check, and we almost couldn't believe it. It was a check for $75,000 just to get started. Yeah, exactly.
That's still a lot of money.
We were like, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up.
I mean, especially back then, though, that was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. And I'll never forget this. Like, so there we are. It's like me, Josh, Chris, my dad's there. He's basically one of our managers, and Mike Birnbaum. And she's like looking at us and looking at this check, and she's like, the secretary, she's like, I shouldn't be giving this money
to a bunch of teenagers. Yeah.
She's like, this is more than I make in a year. God damn it. And she's like handing it over. And like, as she hands it to us, my brother just like lets out a horrible fart. He just rips a fart while she's handing it. And I'm just like, oh my God. And we just made a beeline to the elevator, and then we just fell out like,
now was that
like hysterically.
Was that technically an advance, or was
just
like, here's some, okay. So
there
was a catch to it.
It was a $250,000 record deal that we got. And it started with your first payment of $75,000 to get started. And so we dove right into making Paint by Number.
Right. So I got all my props here.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.